Yeah, so tell me some about Marvin Lorenzen.
Let's see. I logged some timber sales with Marvin Lorenzen, or Marvin Lorenzen had him help with the last few timber sales, private sales that he had with people.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one large one out on Coil, and it was for Weeby, and their dad was a tugboat man. Weeby's was the daughter was that owned the property. The lady that owned the property was Weeby,
Mm-hmm.
and her dad was tugboat pilot. So he acquired that little pond at Jackson Cove.
Oh, uh-huh.
He bought that. What is that called now? That creek. Gee, on Christmas, I don't know the places around Brennan. Creek by the Boy Scout camp.
Oh, Spencer Creek?
Spencer Creek, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he brought all the logs in around this part of the country and pulled them into Jackson Cove there.
Mm-hmm.
In Anchorville. He bought all that property from there, clear to near to the state shed.
Okay.
And Marvin was logging that. And he had me help him with the last piece he was doing down there. And then working with him, Marvin and I worked there on that. And then Weeby's had another parcel on Thorndike.
Hmm.
And it was the same deal. It's got a slough there, this side of the old ferry landing. If you go down there in the tide, you can see a place. Anyway, that's where he tied up the logs in there. Her dad did. And then at that time, he bought that chunk of property. So we logged that with him.
Was that down, so that other slough, is that down by the chicken ranch on Thorndike there? Just, I don't know, it's about...
Pretty close to the ferry landing, where the Y roads, and the one road goes to the ferry landing, the other one goes up toward Coil.
Yep.
That piece in between that Y was part of the land.
Okay, okay.
That
Yeah.
was part of the land.
So, what did Marvin do before he started logging on his own?
He started yarding on his own when he was the youngest brother of the Martin family.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think, him and my dad, or him and my dad and brother, I cannot remember who is, well, one of them, with those little younger brother yet was Kite, was his name. But they started with the Forest Service job, small Forest Service job. The three brothers started working, and then somehow Dad got hooked up with them and started working with them. And then Marvin bought that place down on the bay there, right there in Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a sawmill and stuff that he had built and rigged there and milled cants out of it, and also he sawed lumber.
Huh.
And I worked with him, and he was kind of hard to get along with. Not a lot of people got along. I mean, he expected you to do something, and you best do it, and nothing was ever said.
Yeah, okay.
He was pretty tough, but I never had any trouble. We had kind of hit it off, and he kind of helped me out in my logging business.
Okay. Do you remember when he retired or decided to quit logging? Was that like late 70s, early 80s maybe, somewhere in there, or is it even later than that?
I think it's in the 90s.
Okay. Do you remember when he started working in the woods?
probably when he was 14.
Yeah. Okay.
His dad was pretty. The boys went to work. I think they don't know whether they finished high school or not.
Okay.
They may have finished high school, but I would kind of
Okay.
doubt it. He learned to do that stuff not just on his own. He was quite a good welder.
He had a lot of heavy equipment. Did he do kind of all around just road build, land clear, or was he more of a?
He developed land too.
Okay.
He developed that land. That was his last projects he done. As far as I know of, he developed that land just south of the Boy Scout camp. Here
Oh.
down the B Mill Road.
Mm-hmm.
From the B Mill Road up to the, what we call now the garbage dump road or the power line road.
Okay.
Weebies owned that stretch of land clear up there, clear to the bay. And he went up there on I think it's an 80-acre parcel and developed 5-acre tracts up there.
Really?
That was his last job. He had another guy got with him and financed him more or less. He didn't have a lot of cash money, Marvin didn't, when he passed away, but he had all that property and that place he lived on. He laid on those steps for 4 days. He had a stroke
Really?
before anybody found him. And he never drank after that and everything, and he lived for, I think, 20 years after he had that stroke.
Wow. Okay. And he just had a employee here and there. He didn't really have a whole gang of people working
No.
for him.
Well, they wouldn't stay working for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He had hound dogs too at one time.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.